June 1945. James Miller walks away from Evelyn for the last time. Buster trots beside him, tail wagging, oblivious to the heartbreak. They leave Mobile, leave Alabama, leave everything behind. Head west, toward California, toward nothing, toward a life James will have to build from the broken pieces of the one he lost. He doesn't look back. If he looks back, he won't be able to leave. Behind him, Evelyn stands in Robert's garden, hand on her belly, for months pregnant with another man's child, watching until James disappears from view. Then she turns, walks back into the house, into her marriage, into the life she chose when she thought she had no choice. The door closes behind her. Two lives, separate now, forever. 20 years pass. California, 1965. James Miller is 48 years old now. 20 years since he left Mobile. 20 years since he saw Evelyn's face. 20 years since his life ended, and he kept breathing anyway. The garage he opened in 1946 is thriving. Miller's Auto Repair. Best mechanic in town. Everyone knows him. Quiet. Reliable. Keeps to himself. Does good work. Doesn't talk much. That's James Miller. That's all anyone knows. He lives in a small house on the edge of town. Clean. Sparse. No photographs on the walls. No memories on display. Just him and Buster. The same German Shepherd he brought from Mobile 20 years ago. The dog is old now. Gray around the muzzle. Moves slower than he used to. Sleeps most of the day. But still loyal. Still waiting by the door every evening when James comes home from the garage. Every morning, James and Buster go for a walk. Same route. Same time. Down the street, around the block, past the park. Buster moves slower these days. Stops to rest more often. But he still goes. Still tries. Still keeps up as best he can. James talks to the dog as they walk. About nothing. About everything. You're getting old, boy, he says. Aren't we all? The dog looks up at him. Brown eyes. Trusting. Knowing. This dog walked away from Mobile with him. This dog sat beside him through 20 years of silence. This dog is the last living connection to her. To Evelyn. To that life. One morning in late 1965, they go for their walk. Buster is slower than usual. Struggling. Stops frequently. James notices but doesn't say anything. They make it home. Buster lies down in his usual spot by the door. Doesn't get up for dinner. James kneels beside him. Hey boy, you okay? The dog's tail wags once. Weak. But it wags. That night, James sits on the floor beside Buster. Runs his hand over the dog's head. Over and over. You've been a good dog, he whispers. The best. Buster's breathing is shallow. Labored. James knows. He's seen death before. On the battlefield. In Sam's eyes. In the mirror some mornings. He knows what's coming. The dog grows weaker over the next few days. Stops eating. Stops drinking. Just lies there by the door. Waiting. Always waiting. James stays home from work. Sits with him. Talks to him. Reminds him he's a good boy. The best boy. A week later, on a quiet morning, Buster takes his last breath. Peaceful. No pain. Just a gentle exhale and then stillness. James finds him there by the door. Still in his spot. Still waiting. Always waiting. James buries him in the backyard under a tree. Digs the hole himself. Lowers the body wrapped in an old blanket. Covers it with earth. Stands there for a long time. Staring at the fresh dirt. This dog walked away from her with him. This dog was there when no one else was. This dog remembered when everyone else forgot. He sits down right there on the ground. And cries. For the first time in years. Not just for the dog. For everything. For Sam. For the war. For Evelyn. For 20 years of living but not really being alive. For all of it. That night, he sits at his kitchen table. Opens the pocket watch. Her face looks back at him. Still 22. Still beautiful. Still smiling. Still his. You'd be 45 now, he says to the photograph. Gray hair maybe. Laugh lines. Older. Like me. But in this picture, you're forever young. Forever that girl who defended me in the town square. Forever. He closes the watch. Puts it in his pocket. Goes to bed. The house is so quiet without the dog. Too quiet. The silence is suffocating. Weeks pass. The house feels empty. Wrong. James goes to work. Comes home. Sits in the silence. Opens the pocket watch. Goes to bed. Wakes up. Does it again. He's 48 years old. Alone. No dog. No family. No one. One night, he sits on his porch. The pocket watch in his hand. Opens it. Stares at her face. I should have stayed, he whispers. Should have fought for you. Should have taken you away from there. Should have. Should have. Should have. But he didn't. And now it's been 20 years. And she's probably a grandmother. Living her life. Forgot about him probably. Moved on. His chest tightens. Pain. Sharp. Sudden. He can't breathe. The watch falls from his hand. He clutches his chest. Falls forward. The world goes dark. He wakes up in a hospital bed. Bright lights. Beeping machines. A doctor standing over him. Mr. Miller, can you hear me? James blinks. Tries to speak. His throat is dry. What happened? He finally croaks. You had a heart attack, the doctor says. Severe one. Your heart stopped. We had to resuscitate you. You were gone for about 4 minutes. Clinically dead. But we got you back. For minutes dead. James stares at the ceiling. For minutes. Gone. And then back. He doesn't remember anything. No light. No tunnel. No peace. Just nothing. And then waking up here. You're very lucky, Mr. Miller, the doctor continues. Not many people survive what you just went through. You need to take it easy. Change your lifestyle. Reduce stress. We'll keep you here for observation. They keep him in the hospital for a week. Run tests. Tell him his heart is damaged. Weakened. Tell him to rest. To take medication. To slow down. He nods. Agrees to everything. Goes home. The house is still empty. Still silent. Still wrong without the dog. James sits in the quiet. Thinks about those 4 minutes he was dead. Wonders if he saw anything. He didn't. Just darkness. Just nothing. Is that what's waiting? Just nothing? He can't live like this. In this silence. In this emptiness. He needs something. Anything. 2 months later, January 1966, James goes to the animal shelter. He walks through the rows of cages. Dogs barking. Tails wagging. Hoping. Waiting. And then he sees him. A German shepherd. Young. Full of energy. Same coloring as Buster. Same eyes. Same look. The dog sees him. Stops barking. Sits. Stares. Waiting. James kneels down. Reaches through the cage. The dog licks his hand. That's it. That's the one. He names him Buster. Same name. Different dog. It's easier that way. Doesn't have to learn a new name. Doesn't have to explain to himself why he got another dog. It's just Buster. Always Buster. The new dog helps. A little. James has someone to talk to again. Someone to take for walks. Someone waiting when he comes home. It's not the same. But it's something. And something is better than nothing. Years pass. 1966 becomes 1970. 1970 becomes 1975. James is 58 now. The new Buster is strong. Healthy. Loyal. They go for walks every morning. James works at the garage. Comes home. Opens the pocket watch. Goes to bed. Wakes up. Does it again. This is his life. Work. Dog. Memories. Routine. It's not much. But it's his. James is 68 years old now. 40 years since he left Mobile. 40 years since he last saw her. He's an old man now. Gray hair. Weathered face. Hands that shake more than they used to. The new Buster is older too. Still with him. Still loyal. Still waiting by the door every evening. One evening, James is watching television. The new Buster sleeping at his feet. A news story comes on. Mobile, Alabama veteran Robert Edward Thompson has passed away at age 68. Services will be held at First Baptist Church. James stops breathing. Robert Thompson. Robert. Evelyn's husband. Dead. Which means Evelyn is a widow. Alone. For the first time in 40 years, she's not married. James stares at the television. The news moves on to another story. But he's not listening. Robert's dead. Evelyn's alone. After 40 years. She's alone. Does she still think about him? Does she remember? Does she hate him for leaving? Does she wonder if he's alive? He doesn't know. Can't know. But something inside him shifts. Robert's dead. After 40 years. The man who had her life. Gone. James doesn't go to the funeral. He's in California. She's in Alabama. It's been 40 years. What would be the point? But he thinks about it. For weeks. Wonders if she's okay. Wonders if she cried. Wonders if she's relieved or heartbroken or numb. He'll never know. Mobile, Alabama, 1985. Evelyn Thompson is 65 years old. Her husband Robert is dead. 50 years of marriage. Over. She sits at his funeral, surrounded by family. Margaret, now 40 years old, sits beside her. Grandchildren fill the pews. Everyone crying. Everyone mourning. Robert was a good man. A good husband. A good father. Everyone loved him. Evelyn cries too. Real tears. She loved him. Not the way she loved James. But she loved him. He gave her a life. A daughter. Grandchildren. Security. Kindness. 50 years of patience. 50 years of knowing her heart belonged to someone else and loving her anyway. She's grateful. And she's devastated. And she's guilty. Because part of her, a small, terrible part of her, wonders if James is still alive. Wonders if now, after 40 years. If maybe. But no. She's 65 years old. He's probably dead. Or married. Or forgot her. It's been 40 years. 40 years. She needs to let it go. She needs to. But she can't. That night, alone in her house, she opens the drawer. Takes out the letter. James's letter. 40 years old now. Yellowed. Fragile. Falling apart. I love you. I'm coming home. Wait for me. She reads it one more time. Folds it carefully. Puts it back. Closes the drawer. She'll never throw it away. Can't. Some things you carry forever. 10 years pass. James Miller is 78 years old now. 50 years since he left Mobile. 50 years since he saw Evelyn's face. Half a century. He's an old man now. Fragile. Tired. Ready. The second Buster died 2 years ago. Old. Peaceful. Natural causes. James buried him in the backyard next to the first Buster. 2 dogs. 50 years. Both loyal until the end. He got another dog a year ago. Another German Shepherd. Younger. Full of energy. Keeps James moving. Keeps him alive. He named this one Buster too. Always Buster. It's easier that way. The new dog is strong. Playful. Helps James feel less alone. May 1995. 50 years since the war ended. Mobile, Alabama is holding a memorial service. For the veterans. For the fallen. For the ones who came home and the ones who didn't. James sees the announcement in the newspaper. Almost throws it away. But something stops him. 50 years. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to go back. Just once. Just to see. Not her. Just the town. Just Sam's name on the wall. Just to close the circle. He books a flight. First time he's been back to Alabama in 50 years. He brings the dog. The new Buster. Young. Well-trained. Good company. He arrives in Mobile the day before the memorial. Drives through town. Everything looks different. Bigger. Newer. But some things are the same. The town square. The church. The streets where he used to walk. It's strange. Like visiting a dream. Like walking through a life that belonged to someone else. The memorial is held at the Veterans Park. Flags everywhere. Speeches. Names read aloud. The dead honored. The living remembered. James stands in the back. The new Buster sitting calmly beside him. He's not here for the ceremony. He's here because he needed to be here. Needed to see Sam's name. Needed to remember. The ceremony ends. People mill around. Talking. Hugging. Sharing stories. James walks toward the wall of names. Finds Sam's name. Samuel Hayes. His best friend. Dead at 24. Saved James's life. Died 50 years ago. James touches the name. Carved in stone. Permanent. I'm sorry, Sam, he whispers. I'm sorry I lived and you didn't. James, a voice says behind him. Not someone calling for him. Someone saying his name. Soft. Disbelieving. Shocked. James turns. An old woman stands 20 feet away. Gray hair. Weathered face. Lines around her eyes. But unmistakable. Evelyn. Evelyn Rose. 75 years old now. 50 years older than the photograph in his pocket watch. But still her. Still the girl from the town square. Still the woman who promised to wait. She's staring at him like she's seeing a ghost. Her hand is over her mouth. Her eyes wide. Filling with tears. James freezes. Can't move. Can't breathe. 50 years. 50 years, and she's right there. Hello, Evelyn, he finally says. His voice is old. Rough. But it's still his voice. You're alive, she whispers. You're here. After all these years. You came back. I came for the memorial, he says. For Sam. I didn't think. I didn't know you'd be here. My daughter insisted. she says. Margaret. She thought I should come. For Robert. For the veterans. I almost didn't. But I came. Robert. Right. James nods. I heard. About his passing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, she says quietly. It was 10 years ago. Heart attack. Peaceful. We had 50 years together. It was a good life. I'm glad, James says. And he means it. I'm glad you were happy. Were you? She asks. Happy. James is quiet for a long moment. I had a life, he finally says. I don't know if it was happy, but I had a life. Did you ever marry? She asks. No, he says. Never. Never even tried. Evelyn's eyes fill with tears. Oh, James. Can we? She gestures to a bench nearby. Sit. Talk. Just for a moment? James nods. Yes. Of course. They walk slowly to the bench. Old bones. Old bodies. The new Buster follows, staying close to James's side. They sit. The dog lies down at James's feet, calm and patient. Is that? Evelyn starts, looking at the dog. Buster, James says. Well, not the original. The original died in 1965. This is the third one, actually. I keep getting German Shepherds. Keep naming them Buster. It's easier that way. Evelyn smiles sadly. You always loved that dog. The first one. He was with you through everything. He was the only thing that came with me, James says. The only one who didn't have a choice. They sit in silence. So much to say. 50 years of words. Where do they even start? I kept the pocket watch, James says quietly. All these years. I open it every night. Your face in there. Still 22. Still smiling. Still the girl I loved. I kept your letter, Evelyn says. The one that survived. I read it so many times the paper's falling apart. But I kept it. I'll always keep it. They sit with that. Both of them carrying ghosts for 50 years. Did you have a good life, James? She asks. Really? James thinks. 50 years of working. Fixing cars. Coming home to dogs. Opening a pocket watch. Existing. Surviving. Not living. Not really. I survived, he says. That's something. I built a business. Had my dogs. Worked every day. But happy? I don't know if I know what that means anymore. Robert died 10 years ago, Evelyn says. We'd been married 50 years. He was good to me. Patient. Kind. He knew I didn't love him the way I loved you. He knew from the beginning. But he stayed anyway. Made a life with me anyway. I owe him everything. I'm glad he was good to you, James says. He was, she says. But every night. Every single night. When he was asleep, I'd open that drawer. Look at your letter. Wonder where you were. If you were alive. If you thought about me. If you hated me. Every night, James says. Every single night for 50 years. I thought about you. I never hated you. Not once. Not ever. They sit in silence. Two old people. Two ghosts. 50 years too late. Why did we lose each other? Evelyn asks. How did everything go so wrong? The letters, James says. The war. Time. Your father. My being too late. Everything. Everything went wrong at once. If I'd known you were alive, she says. If I'd gotten even one letter. Just one. I know, James says. But you didn't. And I didn't get yours. And here we are. 50 years later. Old. Worn out. Still carrying it. Evelyn looks at him. Really looks at him. Old. Gray. Weathered by 50 years of life. But still him. Still the mechanic who fixed her mother's car. Still the soldier who promised to come back. Still the man she loved. I never stopped loving you, she whispers. 50 years. A husband. A daughter. Grandchildren. A whole life. And I never stopped. Me neither, James says. His voice breaks. Never stopped. Never could. What do we do now? She asks. We're too old for this. Too old for love stories. Too old for second chances. I know, James says. I'm 78. You're 75. We're not the people we were. But we are, she says. Aren't we? Deep down. We're still them. The mechanic and the girl. The soldier and the one who waited. Maybe, James says. But that doesn't change anything. You have a life. A daughter. Grandchildren. I have a dog in a garage. That's all. So this is goodbye again? She says. After 50 years? We just let go? I don't think we have a choice, James says. We're too old. Too tired. Too late. Evelyn reaches out. Takes his hand. Old. Weathered. Wrinkled. but still his hand. Still warm. Still real. I wish things had been different, she whispers. Me too, he says. Every day for 50 years. Me too. They sit holding hands. Two old people who loved each other once. Who lost each other. Who never stopped carrying the weight of what could have been. I have to go, Evelyn finally says. Margaret's waiting. She'll worry if I'm gone too long. I know, James says. Goodbye, James, she whispers. Goodbye, Evelyn, he says. They stand. Slowly. Old knees. Old backs. Face each other one last time. Evelyn reaches up. Touches his face. Old. Weathered. But still him. Still the face she loved. I'm glad you're alive, she says. I'm glad you had a life. Even if it wasn't with me. I'm glad you were happy, he says. Even if it was with someone else. She drops her hand. Steps back. Turns. Walks away. Doesn't look back. Can't. If she looks back, she won't be able to leave. And she can't stay. Her life is elsewhere now. It has been for 50 years. James watches her go. One last time. The last time. She disappears into the crowd. Gone. He stands there for a long time. Then he calls the dog. Buster. Come on, boy. Let's go home. They walk back to the car. Drive to the airport. Fly back to California. Back to the garage. Back to the small house. Back to the routine. Work. Dog. Pocket watch. Sleep. Work. Dog. Pocket watch. Sleep. 2 years pass. James Miller is 80 years old. Still working at the garage. Slower now. His hands shake more. His back hurts. But he still works. Still fixes cars. Still comes home to the dog. Still opens the pocket watch every night. The new Buster is healthy. Strong. Good company. Keeps James moving. Keeps him getting out of bed every morning. One night in late 1997, James goes to bed. Opens the pocket watch one more time. Her face looks back at him. Forever 22. Forever smiling. Forever his. Good night, he whispers to the photograph. Like he does every night. He closes the watch. Places it on the nightstand beside his bed. Lies down. Closes his eyes. Falls asleep. He doesn't wake up. The mailman finds him 3 days later when the mail piles up and the dog won't stop barking. James Miller, age 80, died peacefully in his sleep. Heart failure. Natural causes. The pocket watch is still on the nightstand. Open. Her face staring up at nothing. No family to call. No next of kin listed. Just a body. And a dog. And a pocket watch with a photograph inside. James Miller is buried in California. Small grave. No service. Few people attend. Just his neighbors. Some customers from the garage. People who knew him but didn't really know him. Nobody knows about the girl in the photograph. Nobody knows about the war. Nobody knows about the 50 years of carrying a love that never died. The dog is taken to a shelter. Young. Healthy. Well-trained. Someone will adopt him. Give him a good home. He'll be fine. Mobile, Alabama, 1997. Evelyn doesn't know James died. Nobody calls. Nobody tells her. How would they? She's in Alabama. He's in California. They haven't spoken in 2 years. Haven't seen each other in 50 years before that. They're strangers. Officially. Just two old people who happened to meet at a memorial once. But she feels it. One morning in late 1997. She wakes up. Feels strange. Heavy. Like something shifted. Like something ended. She sits up in bed. Looks around. Nothing's wrong. But something's different. Something's gone. She opens her drawer. Takes out the letter. James's letter. 52 years old now. Yellowed. Fragile. The ink fading. I love you. I'm coming home. Wait for me. She reads it. Holds it to her chest. Cries quietly. He's gone. She whispers to the empty room. I don't know how I know. But he's gone. I can feel it. She's right. He died that morning. 3,000 miles away. Alone. With her picture beside him. Evelyn lives another 10 years. Continues her life. Watches her grandchildren grow up. Meets her great-grandchildren. Lives a full, long life. But some part of her stays in that garden in 1945. Some part of her stays 25 years old. Some part of her never stops waiting. She dies in 2007 at age 87. Peacefully. Surrounded by family. Margaret holds her hand. Grandchildren fill the room. A good death. A full life. They find the letter when they clean out her house. Margaret reads it. Cries. Understands finally. the sadness her mother carried, the weight she never put down, the love that never died. Margaret keeps the letter, frames it, hangs it in her house, a reminder that sometimes love doesn't get its happy ending. Sometimes you do everything right, love with everything you have, fight, wait, survive, and still lose. James and Evelyn, the mechanic and the girl, the soldier and the one who waited. Two people who loved each other completely, lost each other tragically, carried each other faithfully, until the very end. They're buried 3,000 miles apart. Different coasts, different lives, but connected, always connected, by a war, by letters that never arrived, by a love that refused to die even when everything else did. Margaret passes the letter to her daughter, who passes it to hers. The story lives on. Not the happy ending, not the reunion, just the love, the pure, devastating, unending love. What remains isn't the life they lived. It's the love they carried. 50 years apart. 2 meetings. 2 goodbyes. 1 lifetime of wondering what if. That's what remains. Not the war. Not the letters. Not the silence. The love. Always the love. Forever the love. Some loves don't end. They don't fade. They don't die when the people die. They just become stories. Stories that get passed down. Stories that remind us that love is real. Even when it doesn't win. Even when it loses everything. Even when it destroys you. It's still real. It still mattered. It still remains. James and Evelyn. 2 names. 1 love. Forever.
And that brings us to the end of the story. If this film moved you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more original, carefully crafted stories. You're welcome to leave a comment and share your thoughts, or tell us where you're watching from. Your support helps these stories reach more people. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.